There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Hi guys, my name is Will and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about why Randy from Scream 2 and Scream had to die. So Randy's death is one of the most controversial deaths probably in all of horror movie history. It is still debated to this day whether he had to die or not, but in terms of the storyline progression, here are reasons why Randy had to die. So reason number one, Randy in Scream 2 had to die for the sole purpose of switching it up. He survived in Scream 1. Everybody thought he survived in Scream 1, he's going to survive the rest forever, all the movies. His death made it feel like nobody was safe in Scream. There was no longer plot armour for Sidney, Gale and Dewey. It almost threw the rules of a slasher out the window. So yes, that's what it made the movie less predictable than the rest of the slasher franchises in the horror movie community. Number two, so the horror movie expert became the victim. So Randy in Scream 1 and Scream 2, small part of Scream 3, but he basically, in Scream 1, he told you how to survive a horror movie with no sex, don't say I'll be right back, all that good stuff. So, in turn, him knowing the rules wasn't enough to survive a horror movie that he knew so much about. And again, this makes Scream 2 so unpredictable. Number three, it raises the stakes for Sidney. So obviously Randy was one of our close friends and obviously in high school in Woodsboro, and it makes she at the end of Scream 1, she thought that was the end of it. She thought she survived Ghostface, done dusted, no longer. She moved on to high school, college, and that was it, done and dusted. But Randy's death, because up to this point, it was people she didn't know who was getting killed. Now all of a sudden Randy dies and it brings it right back to Scream 1 where Randy's death and the Ghostface is coming after Sidney, and it felt more personal again. So if Ghostface just killed off random people, it wouldn't really involve Sidney in the storyline. So killing Randy made Ghostface and Sidney's relationship more personal. But four, so I kind of touched on this a little bit on the earlier one, but the death scene and the death itself is shocking in terms of nowadays horror movies don't really take that chance of killing popular characters. Scream 6, for instance, there's so many people that can die in that movie, so many wounds that die, and the next minute they're up, they're joking, they're laughing after they've just been, for instance, Randy's niece in the train gets stabbed and then gets slit right up. She doesn't die. Same with his nephew, Chad, gets bloody stabbed everywhere, survives, there's no tension. So yeah, Scream 2 took a major risk back then and killed one of probably my favourite character in the Scream franchise. They killed him off. It was shocking. They dared to kill off the character, and for that reason, till this day in 2026, it is still one of the most talked about death scenes and deaths, and it was in broad daylight. So that's what makes this death particular shocking. Probably one of the most shocking in the whole entire franchise. And my final point, number 5, it serves as I was about to say Dr. Loomis, it serves as Miss Loomis's revenge. So this is probably, I would say, it's probably one of the most clear-cut who killed Randy in the news van, the news van, the press van, the journalist van, whatever you want to call it. Because before that, the scene when they were all on the phone trying to see where Ghostface is and whatever. No, he was shit talking Billy so much, like calling him a mama's boy a lot, like just destroying his character. And then he gets pulled into the news van and just gutted. So yeah, that for Mrs. Loomis's Ghostface reveal, it makes it more clear cut, because obviously she wanted revenge for her boy Billy, and Randy was shit talking Billy so much before his actual death. So that is my 5 points to why Randy had to die. I'm going to give you a counterpoint for all those who believe he shouldn't have died. So yes, here it goes. So for those people who do not believe Randy should have died, I kind of agree with you in a way that the Scream movies lost something that they did so well in Scream 1 and 2, was have that horror movie expert, because he made the movies feel more meta. Like we lost something when he died. We had it at a bit of Scream 3, but at Scream 4, he kinda had it with the whole film crew, but it didn't feel the same. Scream 5 with obviously the two people there who were loved for the movies, and obviously he had his niece. Scream 5, I can't remember her name. That's how bad her character was, but it felt too forced on us. Like they try to find that perfect in between of somebody who was like Randy and a different character. But in my opinion, I don't think they quite nailed the character. It felt too forced, whereas Randy's character, and obviously the actor himself, it felt more natural to him, and it felt more real. In a world, a movie world setting, it felt more real. So yes, Randy's death, it worked because it removes the audience's safety net for characters who they think is going to survive, provides a horror knowledge in these movies do not keep you safe, and it gives a sequel that personal connection, and it drives the emotional intensity up. So that is my opinions on why Randy had to die in Scream 2. Do you think he had to die? And let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one.